Hello and welcome back to the TV Show Club. The club where we just talk about the latest and whatever TV shows that we've been watching. If you've watched any of the episodes that I'm about to talk about, then let me know what you thought about them in the comments, but I'm going to get straight into it because we've got quite a lot to talk about. So, The Last of Us Episode 7. Probably the slowest episode of The Last of Us that we've got, but it just still worked. It was still brilliant. I think if I had to rank the episodes, this would probably be my least favourite, just because I think they could have done a little bit more flashing between Joel and Ellie and having that storyline run at the same time as Ellie's backstory, because a lot of it was quite slow. But it was slow for good reason. They had to build that relationship between the two girls so that the payoff at the end actually made sense. What they could have done a little bit differently is just focus it purely on Ellie's backstory and condense the mall scenes down a little bit, have the clicker come in and do what it did like 3/4 of the way through, and then we see what happens to Ellie afterwards, because we don't get to see what happens to Ellie after that moment and between her and finding Marlene. We just don't see that. Regardless of all that though, Bella Ramsey's performance in this episode was absolutely stellar. She absolutely killed it, which she has done pretty much this entire season. The criticism that she was getting before the series started has just been blown out the window, because she has done such an incredible job with this character and has really brought some just top tier acting. Episode 8 of The Last of Us potentially might be my favourite episode that we've got so far, because it had so many just brilliant elements to it. Getting some sort of alone time with Ellie and getting to develop her character a little bit more, and like the payoff at the end of her realising that actually she really needs Joel and Joel also needs her, and there's this beautiful relationship that has now spawned together between the two, and he basically sees her as a daughter now. I haven't played the game, so I didn't know that a couple episodes back, you know, when those people attacked Joel and stabbed him, that was going to connect to this one. So that whole revelation towards the end when they were like, oh, someone died and it was by a guy and a little girl, I was like, oh my god, it's all connected, what the hell. Blew my mind. And then the revelation as well when you see the ear under the table and you're like, no, there's no way that they've eaten the people. Wow, okay. And a step up, he's also a pedophile. Brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but once again, like in episode 7, Bella Ramsey's performance was absolutely fantastic. I honestly think at this point she's outperforming Pedro Pascal. She is doing a top tier acting performance in every episode that she's in. The pacing of this episode was a little bit fast. I think it might have been nice to get like sort of a half episode before this with that village and the characters in there, and then develop it into this episode. But it also worked. I've not really got any complaints. That's kind of a nitpick. Overall, I'm really excited for the last episode, but I don't know what they're going to do with the last episode. I don't know how they're going to sort of round it off nicely to a season finale. I really don't know. Okay, next we're going to talk about Bad Batch. So Bad Batch episode 11. This episode is an example of what they should have been doing for this whole series. Like, this series really should have clearly been less episodes, because it would have just been perfect if we'd have got that. Because this episode, in a sense, was filler, but it also includes, you know, little tiny bits of like the Empire and things like growing and the whole cloning process and how that's developing. This is what the filler episodes should have been, not just filler with absolutely nothing in them. It should have been filler, but with a little bit of something sprinkled in there, which is what this episode was, and I'm so glad that the Bad Batch is actually getting a lot better. I have genuinely enjoyed it for the last couple of weeks now, which makes me happy. I want to enjoy this show. I really want to enjoy this show, and I'm finally enjoying it. But the first few episodes just they did nothing for me. This series should be, I think, 12 episodes. I genuinely think 12 episodes would be the perfect place for that. I just think they're getting too many episodes commissioned, and they're just like, shit, we need to fill this space. But overall, I did enjoy this episode, and the callback. I mean, the callback to that Clone Wars episode, the fact that we're getting payoff from Clone Wars episodes that you wouldn't even think about getting a payoff for is ridiculous, and that's what we should be getting with this show. Getting to see the Zillow Beast again is just exactly what we should get, because that just plays into all the things with the Empire and the things that they're clearly building to get to the sequel and filling all those gaps. That's what we should be getting every week. With episode 12 of The Bad Batch, I'm genuinely convinced now that Crosshair is the best character in The Bad Batch. He's had 2 episodes this season, and both episodes have been genuinely the best episodes of the whole season. I'm so much more compelled to his character than I am pretty much any of the other Bad Batch. This was a great episode, and it's so brilliant to see finally Crosshair like snapping and realising, I am not on the right side here. Just seeing the whole mistreatment of the clones and how they're all just going to be dismissed, it's just brilliant, and it's what I wanted from this series the whole time, and it's what it should have been. But I just say as well, the music in this episode was fantastic. Like, I don't know, I can't remember who the producer was for the music of this episode, but it was a stellar job. Yeah, overall, I'm really excited now for Bad Batch. It's brought me back into loving the Bad Batch. I'm genuinely excited for the next few episodes and the rest of the season now, so hopefully it still continues. Please don't get more filler, because it's actually building a storyline now, and I can't wait to see what happens. The Mandalorian is back, everyone. I genuinely think just everybody loves The Mandalorian, because it's just fantastic, and I'm so happy that it's back. Episode 1 was just perfect for me. It just brings you back into this universe. If you compare like the Boba Fett show, that felt so lifeless, and just the whole community, it just didn't feel like Star Wars. With like the robotic teenagers people, didn't feel like Star Wars. The Mandalorian episode 1 is just perfectly Star Wars. The world building, it just draws you straight into this world and makes you feel like this is a vibrant, real life place. One of my main criticisms for Mandalorian is that in the past they've just done one episode, one place, another episode, another place. In the first episode, we got like 3 different places. And it's also driving the story along to actually like a really big arced story in the whole series. It's not just, let's go do a bounty mission, let's go do another bounty mission. It's actually like, okay, we need to go to Mandalore, we're gonna do that, and it's gonna be a few episodes of doing that, which is everything that I've been asking for from The Mandalorian for so long. I'm so happy. It was just perfect for me, and I loved it. The callback to Rebels with the space whales. Oh my god. I actually lost it when I saw them. I was like, no way. They're teasing us now, because we know that that's like a call to Ezra and a call to Thrawn, and oh, it's just going to be brilliant. Episode 2 of The Mandalorian this season is now 2 for 2, because that was a brilliant episode. The Mythosaur is real. I was not expecting that at all, but also Bo-Katan is she just shone through this episode like a beam of light for me. I love the Bo-Katan character anyway, but she just developed to another level in this episode, and genuinely I just love her more and more every time she's on screen. Mandalore and Mandalorians are such an interesting concept, almost level with Jedis in my opinion, and so I can't wait to explore this more. And now he's gone into the waters and things, what's going to happen with that, where the season's going to go, I'm genuinely not sure, but I'm so excited for it. Anyway, that's been all from me. If you did enjoy, please like down below, and if you've seen anything that I've just talked about, then as I say, comment down below, let me know what you thought, what are you excited to see, what are you not excited to see, and that is all from me. I'll see you next time for the TV Show Club.